a Map Business Online video presentation. We're going to be appending some data. We're going to take data from an imported data set and work with it on the map. I'm going to focus on county and state labels. The first thing I'm going to do is import this data, which is already in here, and you can see it's COVID-19 information from usafacts.org on death rates by county. And the date 1/26/21 is here. It goes all the way back to early 2020, and you can see the deaths there. You can see how they shift across the time frame. So we're focusing on 1/26/21. I've adjusted my map title to reflect 1/26/21, and I can actually turn off that data on the map, and I want to go in and focus on counties. So I went into labels and I made sure that my county labels were showing up. You can see if I make it state level, they're showing up at starting from the country level. And I was able to go in and adjust the coloring on my text here in the auto label. Don't like purple. I'm going to go back to sort of a dark bluish. And I don't have them italicized at this point. I want to do that because I'm going to focus my map, in at the state, maybe multi-state level, which gives me some room to put detail in. And you always want to be cognizant of how much detail you put in a label because you don't want to just undo the value of the map by making it too cluttered. But we're going to go in and first we're going to go in and color code the actual counties. So if I go into county and I get out of label and I go to color code the map and I pick my date, it's a little tricky. And we've got, as you can see, that's 2020. We want to go January 2021. And so it's a little tricky as we find 1/26/21. There we go. I'll go with 4 classification or ranges, and I'm going to start at 1, quantity 1. If I start at 0, you're going to pick up counties that don't have any deaths if there are any. We can see at the bottom here of the 4 ranges, Map Business Online tells us that at the most for a county total 15,303. So our range is going to swing from 1 to 15,000 plus. So I would say we want to kind of create something, a range system that spreads over that rather evenly or in a way that makes sense to your human mind, right? How do I split this up? That would be my first approach. And we can see how that looks on the map. Another consideration is, do I want the color range to be a gradation of one color, like orange through yellow like that? Or do I want it to be of some multiple set of colors like that? And I would lean towards this. And I would probably make the higher counties red, and maybe they make that lower county a little less yellowy. And let's see, we can do with, let's see what that looks like. So that's just like give you a sense of how that can work in terms of color shading your counties. So there you can see that Maricopa County has got a significant amount of deaths going on, 7,053. El Paso County, 2,000. And Los Angeles, of course, look at that. They've got the prize at 15,303. So that's sort of an interesting looking map view, in my opinion, right there with regard to deaths across counties for COVID-19. But let's put some more information in there. Let's take the county layer and let's append that county label by clicking into label, going into format label and auto label, and then down below, let's grab again with the COVID deaths, let's grab that same date, and that was 1/26/2001. There it's 2021. And you can put a little prefix so people know what you've got there. And then the other thing we could place in this map um, is population. So we've got COVID deaths here. So in number 2, I'm going to change that from deaths, which I had before, to population, and I'm going to go down into my current year from the census, which is 2018. The upper categories that you see in 2019 and 2020, those are actually projections. And let's use real. So go pop like that. And then this last one is unchecked. And 4 is unchecked and 5. So there's 5 flexible fields. We're going to use 2 of them. And I'm putting in changed labels. And now you can see, I think that looks actually pretty good. So you've got like a dark text with the appended data, deaths, and population. That gives you a sense. In Maricopa County, you've got 7,000 deaths across 4,253,000 people. Um, and so you can work with that. You could even do a calculation if you needed to using the calculated data columns function, which would be here. Click that edit gear, and you can go down to calculated data columns. Right here, manage calculated data columns, and you could set up a calculated formula, maybe a ratio of the population to the deaths, and insert that in there if that was something you were interested in. One thing I would probably do is on my map title, because I've got a lot of yellow in the map, then I would click the properties and get out of the yellow business for that map title. I don't particularly like that brighter shade of blue, but I did want maybe a bluish, sort of maybe gray. So, you've got some tweaking you can do of your title, but you've been able to append data, and you have like some options on those labels that might make them more readable or more presentable. So you could center them. You could get rid of the shadow. I almost like that better. And now that gives you sort of a map you could present to the meeting that you have about the progress of COVID-19 in your tri-state area. Go to mapbusinessonline.com and take our free trial.